What's up, guys? I'm Zach.
Hey guys, Ryan from A Fresh Cup of Comics here. We're going to talk about
This gem right here, Amazing Spider-Man number 800.
Amazing Spider-Man 800.
Blew my mind.
What an amazing comic this was. I was so stoked to read this when I got it. I had to wait so long to get it too.
A lot of crazy stuff happened. They tied up a lot of the loose ends.
It starts off from the battle scene from the last one.
Red Goblin's kind of like left the Spider family in ruin, basically.
The Red Goblin had shot some of Spider-Man's friends that came to help him.
They tell him he has to go off and take care of this guy.
Also, Flash Thompson was there as anti-venom, helping them out, trying to get them healed as much as they can.
So Spider-Man swings off to go find the Red Goblin.
After that, you see a scene of Jonah Jameson.
He's going through the files. He finds the Venom file.
He calls him up and says, "Hey, you know what? I need your help. I need your help as Venom."
He's trying to help.
So he gets him to go help Mary Jane.
Cut to Mary Jane. Venom shows up.
Kaboom, boom, shakalaka through the window.
So she's super sketched.
Venom, oh my god!
Not knowing that he's there to actually save her against Red Goblin, who shows up.
So she's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to turn on all the anti-venom things here.
And so you got this whole battle between the Carnage Goblin and Venom, and she's sitting there trying to like blast him with fire, and Venom's like stop.
And Venom's like, hey, turn off this fire, turn off the sound, because I could probably do a little bit better with that off.
She's like, oh, okay, so she turns it off.
The next page we go to, you see Aunt May. You hear a knock on the door, or you don't hear it, but you read it. Knock, knock.
And little Normie shows up at the door, and he looks all innocent and everything. We know he's not.
Oh man, little Normie. You know who little Normie is? That little red demon, man.
Little bastard.
She's like, hey, where's your parents? He's like, oh, can I call them?
So she turns around to get on the phone with his parents, and as she does, he turns into
Goblin Child. Scary.
Goes to attack Aunt May, but who shows up but Superior Octopus, which is a whole other thing, and it's on its own.
This comes through the windows and starts fighting this little guy.
But he's there to protect Aunt May.
Starts throwing him to the ground.
You cut back to Venom versus Carnage Goblin, the Red Goblin.
Spider-Man notices or sees the fire coming from the window from Star.
Spider-Man shows up trying to beat the Red Goblin with Venom's help.
Mary Jane ends up getting like a repulsor thing onto her wrist like Iron Man. And she shoots him out the window. And he falls, or he jumps on his little glider he has. And Spider-Man's like about to go off, but Eddie Brock's like, or Venom goes back to being Eddie Brock. And he says, Spider-Man, take this, take my Venom symbiote suit. And Spider-Man's like, I don't know if I want that. Exactly, I don't know if I want that. But Eddie Brock's like, you know what, you should take it. This will really give you an upper hand on the Red Goblin. So he dons it on. And once again, you got
Black Suit Spider-Man is back, everybody.
Black Suit Spider-Man's son.
So things are happening all across the city. You've got Jonah Jameson wearing some weird-ass headgear. He looks like Moon Rider from One Punch Man.
You got Flash Thompson there as anti-venom, still kind of mixed both because he got really injured. He's trying to help the doctors out.
And cut back to, we've got Goblin Child fighting Superior Octopus, Superior Octopus trying to save Aunt May.
Carnage all over the place.
And Aunt May is like, how could you try to attack me? Like, I baked you cookies. And he's like, you put raisins in them, you bitch.
Then, boom shakalaka again through the door. You see this giant robot, Spider Slayer. Who else? Jonah Jameson.
He's piloting this Spider Slayer with this helmet, this weird-ass helmet that he's got on.
Obviously, he doesn't know what he's doing with this thing because the Red Goblin just destroys this thing. The Child Goblin, sorry.
The Red Goblin shows up trying to get Normie. He goes to attack Aunt May, try to shoot her with his weird-ass goblin needle things.
Superior Dr. Octavius jumps in front and saves her, which made Black Suit Spider-Man come to him and say, I know, even though we are mortal enemies for a long time, I forgive you.
Red Goblin and Goblin Child show up at the Red Goblin's, or Goblin Child's mother's office.
Norman Osborn decides he doesn't want any of this.
Lifts up a table and
crack!
and attacks the guy that's in the room with her.
Next thing you know, you see Harry Osborn jump in on his own glider with some robots.
And Norman Osborn turns into the Red Goblin like, oh, son, finally.
So all the robots are attacking him.
And he zooms past Red Goblin. The robots try to take care of him. He grabs onto little Normie, Goblin Child, trying to take him out of harm's way. Red Goblin takes this as an opportunity to grab Goblin Child's mom, Liz.
You know what? I'm going to throw this lady right out the window. Does it throw her out the window? Guess who's there? Guess who's there, guys?
Black suit Spider-Man was there, caught her in just the nick of time, and brought her back in and everything. But Goblin Child saw what his grandfather, the Red Goblin, tried to do. Tried to kill his mom. He's like, whoa, like, wasn't part of the deal. Like, come on, Grandpa.
So they have a battle. They're battling.
Harry Osborn, with the help of Spider-Man, try to take down the Red Goblin. Harry Osborn actually throws his glider into the Red Goblin, just like in Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire. And it was awesome. And it sends him careening out the window, and Harry Osborn grabs onto his son. He says, I'm never letting go. And he's like, and the son's like clawing at him. He's like, I can't help it, Dad. I can't help it. Like, you have to let me go. And he's like, I'm never letting you go again. And it turns him back into little Normie. The power of love triumphs again.
Flying over to New York City, they're fighting. Next thing you knew, the Red Goblin, or the Green Goblin, wherever you want to call him at this time, explains to Spider-Man that his plan. Spider-Man's like, oh, we're good. Flash Thompson's saving all those people, blah, blah. And Red Goblin's like, oh, that's what you think.
I've had them, there's a needle like right outside their brain. If I snap my fingers, it'll go into their spinal cord, their brains, and kill them instantly. So he snaps his fingers, Thanos style.
Nothing happens. Because he's like, oh, I didn't feel anybody die or any pain or anguish. Next thing you know, you see Flash Thompson. He's like, too bad, guys. I have the spines right in my hands, son.
Anti-venom and Red Goblin go at it, and Red Goblin's like, screw you, man, like that was a cool plan.
After that, the Red Goblin's like, what?
Spider-Man actually takes Red Goblin's glider and throws it at him, which actually explodes with both Red Goblin and Anti-Venom in the vicinity.
Blows him up.
This was almost the killing blow for Flash Thompson, which Spider-Man saw and it enraged him.
Where he turns into the Venom. And he just ready to just whoop butt, man.
Punches Super Saiyan Goblin into the sky. He goes to go after them and like kill him, but Flash Thompson tells him no, stop.
Don't do that, man. Don't be the cause of wreckage and problems and killing people.
He turns back into regular Spider-Man, and he's there to watch Flash Thompson die in his dying words. You're my hero. You're my friend.
Seeing the Red Goblin, where he was strong enough to punch him all the way to Times Square, and he lands in Times Square. So Red Goblin's like, you know what? I'm gonna kill all these people. I was doing it all wrong. Instead of the people you love, I'm just gonna kill everybody because you love everybody. He starts throwing these carnage goblin bombs.
Where Spider-Man doesn't know what to do. He's in Times Square. There's so many people. So he tries everything he can. He's flipping around, catching people with his webs, trying to make sure people are out of the blast radius and stuff. Gets blown up himself.
Kaboom shakalaka! As a big car bomb goes off and knocks Spider-Man down.
He like goes over to Spider-Man, pulls up his face to go to his, telling him like, "This is where I kill you." And Spider-Man realizes that's your weakness. It's your ego.
You know what? How about instead of fighting with these suits, because you're gonna let Carnage kill me, why don't you kill me? So he's like, all right.
And my favorite shot in the whole freaking comic, dude, is the scene where they're like standing, like just classic Spider-Man, classic Green Goblin, standing there facing each other, just lit by the fire.
So they're fighting, Spider-Man, blow for blow.
And Spider-Man starts to get the upper hand. A car blows up and sends Spider-Man careening into the ground. And he's like, it's not fair. Like, I had him. And Green Goblin goes over, does some like MMA style kicks and knees and stuff to him.
This is it, dude. This is Spider-Man's last thing.
J. Jonah Jameson is in the crowd trying to find out where the hell all this stuff is going on.
Spider-Man overpowers him, takes him down. As he's about to reach for the Carnage, try to get the Carnage back.
And that's when he notices the Carnage symbiote is coming back over to reunite with Norman Osborn. And so he said, he says when they're separated, the carnage is susceptible to fire again. So he lifts up this flaming motorcycle and throws it. And just as the carnage symbiote was about to touch the finger of Norman Osborn, the fire blows it up and disintegrates it. And Norman Osborn is there just sitting there like he's crazy. He doesn't know who he is.
He's just really badly injured.
And that is when J. Jonah Jameson shows up with a gun to try to take matters into his own hands. And he goes to shoot Green Goblin.
Again, Spider-Man's like, I can't let that happen. He jumps in the way. Ooh! Jumps in the way. Blocks the bullet. Takes the bullet for Green Goblin.
Jameson is like, oh shit, never mind, sorry. And he runs away like a...
They arrest the Green Goblin. They take him to jail.
They show up to the penitentiary where they have Norman Osborn locked up. He asks Norman Osborn, do you remember who you are? Like, do you remember anything? And he said, yeah, I'm Cletus Cassidy. The craziest guy on Earth.
Where the kid had still had the Red Goblin in him, so they have to go and put like a serum in to get the Red Goblin part off.
So they have this machine that violently rips it out of his flesh.
Well, at least you think it happens, and they basically go to a scene where he's talking to his dad. His dad's like, oh, you're never going to leave me again? He's like, no, I'll never leave you again. He's like, oh, that's good. And you see a little glimmer of the red carnage still in the little boy's eye. And then it goes to a funeral scene where Flash Thompson, obviously because he was dead, and they talk about they have Peter Parker come up and kind of talk about Flash, how he was a bully to him all those years, but really Flash was his best friend all along, regardless. So that was kind of a sad moment. But then in it, Jonah Jameson is like, hey kid, you gotta go. There's some crimes going on, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, whoosh, and he whips out, and he's gone. And he makes, you know what? It's pretty cool. He makes a spider sling. The next thing you know, boom, 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 son, clack, 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 clack. Let's reverse that.